Hello everyone, Alicia here with another lightened up, Weight Watcher friendly recipe, and today I'm going to be making up some easy mini lemon blueberry cheesecakes. Now I love cheesecake, it's one of my absolute favorite desserts. I also love lemon anything desserts, so I thought it would be fun to do a lemon blueberry mini cheesecake. Now I do have several cheesecakes, mini cheesecakes that is, on my channel already, including just a plain lemon one. But lemon blueberry just sounded really good. So that's what I'm gonna be making today. I thought I'd take you guys along with me, show you how these turn out. But first, let me go over ingredients real quick and I'll show you what you're gonna need to make these. First off, for the cheesecake filling, you're gonna need some light cream cheese. I'm using this Lucerne Light, and this is 8 ounces, and you're gonna want this room temperature when you make these because that's gonna make that cream cheese whip up a lot easier. Next up, you're gonna need some fat-free Greek yogurt. I'm using this Fage. I'm gonna be using a half cup of that. For sweetener in this, I'm using the Lakanto monk fruit sweetener with allulose, the classic. I'm gonna be using a half cup in my cheesecake filling, and then also a 1/4 cup in my blueberry topping that I'm gonna be putting on these. You're gonna need 2 large eggs, a teaspoon vanilla. For the lemon in this, I'm gonna be using a large lemon, and this should give me everything I need. I'm looking for 3 tablespoons of juice, 2 for the filling, the cheesecake filling, and then 1 tablespoon for the blueberry topping. I'm also gonna zest this, and that should yield me around a tablespoon of zest, and I'm gonna be using 2 teaspoons in the filling, and then I'll use the rest probably to garnish with. Here I've got a 1.5 cups of fresh blueberries that I've washed up and picked through. You could also use frozen if you want. So these are gonna be used in that filling, along with, like I said, the Lakanto, a 1/4 cup of that, and then a 1/3 cup water. And then finally for the blueberry filling, teaspoon cornstarch. For the crust on these, I like to keep it really simple and use cookies. I've used Nilla wafers before, ginger snaps, just different types of cookies for my crust when I do these mini cheesecakes. And like I said, I like that. It makes it super simple for the crust. This time I'm using these Dewey's Meyer Lemon. I've used these before. I don't remember if it was in something that I filmed, but I really like these. They're really good and they make a great crust. So I'm gonna be using 12 of these for the crust. And then finally, to top these with, I'm gonna be using a little bit of Ready Whip. And that is everything that is in these, so let me get us started. First thing you want to do is get your oven preheating to 375 Fahrenheit. And then I'm going to take my lemon here that I've washed really well, and I'm going to get that zested up. And as I always say, when you zest lemons, you just want to get that outside yellow part. You don't want to get into the white pith of it because that is bitter. So I'm going to get this zested up and then I will be back. Got my lemon zested here, and I've probably got about a tablespoon total. So I'm going to be using 2 teaspoons in the batter of the cheesecake, and then I'll reserve that final teaspoon probably to garnish these with when they are done. So I'm gonna set this aside, then I'm gonna grab my lemon, and I'm gonna give that a quick little roll just to get the juices kind of easier to come out. Cut it in half, and I'm gonna juice this. And again, I'm looking for 2 tablespoons for my cheesecake batter. And then also another tablespoon for my blueberries. So that's probably gonna get it just with that 1/2, but I'm gonna go ahead and juice the other. And whatever I have left, I'll just add to my water later. Okay, got that all juiced. So now I'm gonna set that aside. So over here at my stove, I've got a small saucepan here, and I'm gonna turn on my heat to medium high, and I'm gonna add in my water, my blueberries, 1/4 cup sweetener, teaspoon cornstarch, and tablespoon lemon juice. Stir all that together, and then I'm gonna let this come to a boil. And then at that point, I'm gonna turn my heat down to low, and I'm gonna let this continue to simmer until it thickens up a little bit. So this has just started coming to a boil. So now, like I said, I'm gonna turn down my heat to low and just kind of continue to stir this. on low until those berries kind of burst, and then this sauce thickens. Let this simmer about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more. And it has thickened up. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off the heat and I'm gonna set it aside and let it cool while I work on my filling. So for the filling, I've got my mixer here. You could do this by hand or with a hand mixer if you want, but I'm gonna add in my cream cheese that again is room temperature. And I'm gonna whip that up real quick just to get it nice and creamy. I just whipped that up for about 30 seconds. So now I'm gonna add in my 2 eggs, half cup sweetener, half cup fat-free Greek yogurt, 2 tablespoons lemon juice, 2 teaspoons lemon zest, and teaspoon vanilla. And now I'm gonna mix this all together until it's well combined. Got this all mixed together well. Here's how that's looking. So now I'm gonna grab myself a muffin tin and some liners. I've got a muffin tin here that I've lined with these little silicone liners. I really like these. It makes it easy to get your baked goods out and prevents them from sticking. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my cookies and I'm gonna just put one of these on the bottom of each one of these cups. Now I'm gonna take this ice cream scoop, which is probably about a 1/4 cup, and I'm gonna fill my cups with it, or about 3/4 full. And that being said, I'm probably gonna need to do more than 12 of these, but we'll see. So I've gotta leave a little bit of room for that blueberry topping. Yeah, I've got batter left over, so I'm gonna grab my other muffin tin and do some more of these up. I ended up with 16 of these. So now I'm gonna take my blueberry topping that has cooled down and I'm gonna add about a tablespoon to the top of each one of these. Now I'm gonna take a toothpick and I'm gonna just kind of swirl that in. And you don't have to do this if you don't want. You could also use like a butter knife to do this. These are now ready to go in my preheated oven at 375 Fahrenheit for about probably 15 minutes or so. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. But you want to just bake them until they just have a slight jiggle in the center. So I'll be back at that point. I let these bake for just about 17 minutes. They've got a slight little jiggle. I don't know if that's picking up, but that's what you're looking for right in the center. Just a little bit of a jiggle. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to let these cool completely. And I've got my other 4 over on the counter in case you're wondering. I'm gonna let these cool completely. And that'll be about an hour. And then at that point, I'm gonna put them in my fridge for a minimum of 4 hours. Maybe even longer. These cheesecakes are really good actually if you let them sit overnight before you eat them. Cheesecake in general is, if it sits in the fridge, it just tastes better. Those flavors have a chance to kind of marry together and come out. But I'm gonna give these probably 4 hours in the fridge after they cool down completely. And then I'll be back and I will finish them up and give you points. All right, it is the next day actually. I didn't get around to finishing these up yesterday. But I did end up getting into them as far as tasting them yesterday, and they are really good. So that combination of the sweet blueberries with the tart lemon juice and zest is just really, really good in these. And that cookie on the bottom pairs really well with these as well. Like I said, I love all cheesecake, but I really like the mini cheesecakes like these because they make it really easy to just, have a little single serve cheesecake. So I love the mini cheesecakes. I'll be sure to link some of my other ones up above and down below, and you can check some of those out as well. But these Really good. I really like the flavor combination, like I said, with the sweet blueberry and tart lemon in these. As you can see here, I've got them topped with a little bit of whipping cream, and then I just zested the top of that with my extra zest. As you see them here, they are 3 points a piece on WW, which I don't think is bad. One thing I wanted to point out about these, they are a little bit, I guess the word would be messier because of the blueberry topping that's in them. The little extra moisture kind of makes these a little less set up. So I did take some out of the little silicone liners there, and they didn't hold their shape as well as some of my other cheesecakes do. And again, I think that's just because of the blueberries and the added moisture. But when I eat these, I typically just eat them right out of the little cups anyway. So that's what I would suggest for these. But that was lemon blueberry mini cheesecakes. If this one sounds good to you, be sure to check down in the description box below this video where you'll find a recipe link to my website where you will find the full list of ingredients, instructions, WW points, WW recipe builder, nutritional info, and more. All that's going to be on my website for this recipe. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you on the next one.